When we think about success, it's easy to point to things like intelligence, talent, or simply being in the right place at the right time. But you know what? There's something deeper, something that often flies under the radar, playing a much bigger role: mental fortitude. This powerful combination of resilience, perseverance, emotional balance, and adaptability is now being recognized as the real engine behind many people's greatest achievements. In this talk, we'll explore what mental fortitude really is, connect it to big ideas from trusted research, and see why it matters so much for all of us striving to reach our goals. Backhand index pointing right, ready to find out why inner strength might just be your greatest superpower? Let's dive in. One of the biggest voices in this area, Angela Duckworth, 2016, talks about grit, that magical mix of passion and perseverance for really long-term goals. Her research shows that grit can actually predict success better than a high IQ. And then there's Masten's 2001 idea of ordinary magic, where resilience isn't about being extraordinary, it's about tapping into natural everyday strengths we all have inside us. The big takeaway here is crystal clear. It's not just how smart you are or how lucky you get. It's about how well you can keep going when things get tough, and stay emotionally steady even when life throws curveballs. Sparkles, have you ever felt like your ability to bounce back mattered more than being the smartest person in the room? Neuroplasticity and emotional regulation. Here's where it gets even cooler. Neuroscience backs all of this up. Davidson and McEwen, 2012, showed that when we face stress, our brain can actually change, literally. But those who master emotional regulation show healthier brain responses, like stronger connections in areas that help with decision-making and self-control. So it's not just personality or luck, your brain can learn resilience. Mental toughness isn't something you're either born with or not. It's something you can grow and build. Brain, doesn't it feel empowering to know that with practice, your mind can literally rewire itself to become stronger? Key findings and implications. 1. Mental fortitude outweighs talent and opportunity. Across multiple long-term studies like Escria-Swinkler et al. 2014, the message is loud and clear. Perseverance outshines natural talent when it comes to achieving goals. It turns out that building emotional strength and resilience might be a better investment than focusing only on skills or intelligence. Speech balloon, ever notice that it's often not the most gifted person who wins, but the one who just refuses to quit? 2. Socioeconomic status and mental fortitude. Miller and Chun, 2013, uncovered something fascinating. People from tougher backgrounds sometimes develop stronger mental fortitude as a way of coping. But, and this is important, without good support, constant hardship can turn into chronic stress and emotional damage. That's why building resilience isn't just a personal job. We need systems like mentors, community groups, and accessible mental health care to help people thrive, not just survive. Seedling, can you think of a time when someone's support made all the difference for you? 3. Cultural and environmental factors. Cross-cultural research by Unger, 2011, shows that mental fortitude isn't shaped in a vacuum. It's deeply influenced by culture. In communities where people lean on each other, resilience is a team effort. In places that prize independence, it's often seen as a personal battle. Either way, it reminds us that any effort to boost mental fortitude has to honor the culture it's built in. Globe showing Europe, Africa. How do you think your background or community shape the way you handle tough times? Factors influencing results. Positive influences. Strong, caring relationships like mentors or close friends really help us build resilience. Werner, 1995. And believing in ourselves, as Bandura, 1997, pointed out, makes a huge difference too. Self-confidence isn't just a feel-good bonus. It's fuel for perseverance. Negative influences. But let's be real. Not everything helps. Long, unrelenting stress without a break can wear down even the strongest people. McEwen, 2004. And early trauma, especially without healing support, can make resilience so much harder to develop. Felitti et al., 1998. Speech balloon, when you think about your own journey, what people or beliefs have helped you push through the hardest moments? Contributions to the field. This growing focus on mental fortitude is changing the way we understand success. Instead of obsessing over IQ scores or natural gifts, researchers are saying, hey, what about resilience? What about perseverance? It's shifting how schools, workplaces, and even governments think about preparing people for real-world challenges. And more importantly, it's changing our stories, from glorifying born geniuses to celebrating the strength of those who simply refuse to give up. Sparkles, isn't it refreshing to think that success is more about steady effort than some kind of magical one-in-a-million talent? Critical evaluation and limitations. Sample diversity. Here's something to think about. A lot of the studies we lean on come from Western countries. That means we need more research from different cultures to truly understand how universal these ideas are. Measurement challenges. Also, measuring things like resilience and grit isn't easy. Most studies rely on people's self-reports, which can sometimes be, well, a little biased. No one's perfect when reflecting on their own strengths and weaknesses, right? The complexity of success. And lastly, success isn't simple. Mental fortitude matters a lot, but things like social connections, random opportunities, and even inequality play their part too. The full picture is way more layered and nuanced. Thinking face, have you ever seen how a lucky break or an unfair obstacle changed someone's journey, despite how hard they worked? Future directions. Looking ahead, researchers are excited to track how mental fortitude grows over lifetimes and across different cultures. Dig deeper into how practices like mindfulness or therapy physically change the brain for the better. Bring resilience training into schools, so emotional strength becomes just as important as math or reading. Rocket, wouldn't it be amazing if future generations were taught to be mentally strong right from the start? Closing reflections. Mental fortitude. Our resilience, our perseverance, our ability to stay grounded through storms, is truly the unsung hero behind every success story. Sure, we can't control everything life throws at us, but we can decide how we show up, how we adapt, and how we keep moving forward. Like Maya Angelou beautifully said, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. And honestly, that's real strength. That's the kind of power that changes lives. Sparkling heart, when you look back on your life so far, where do you see your own mental fortitude shining the brightest?